How's everybody doing? Okay, let me just put that. I always like to show my altar. People were asking for my altar, and sometimes I have a big candle, sometimes I have a little white candle, and sometimes I have another kind of candle. It depends. It's red, white, never black. The black is the one that I usually keep right down here. You know, because we are shamans, and that's what we're able to do what we do. But today we're going to talk about Gemini. We're going to talk about the air signs. And the first one, I already did one about Libra. And so for some reason it has not been found in the internet. Please try to find it. If not, I'm going to see if it can be found. I also did Aries, so I'm not going to do Aries, and I'm not going to do Libra because I've done those already. I will do Leo and Sagittarian women, and I will do Aquarius and Gemini women, and then I will close the series and then begin the astrological signs of men and the signs. So, air. You have cardinal air, mutable air, and fixed air. Air is the intellect. Understand that right out the bat. Air symbolizes intellect. And you have intellect that, ideas, emotions is water. Material concerns is earth. And then you have mobility of spirit, conquering of spirit, manifestation of spirit. That's fire. And then you have air. Air is the highest element of all of the elements. Water, earth, fire. Air is the highest element. It is the highest that we can aspire to. From our animal nature, which is earth, we move from our emotional nature, which is often misgiven, unpredictable, and swervy, with no real discipline, to fire, which can be too inspirational and burn you up, to air. With the element air is where everything balances. It's also the highest cosmic expression of the gods and the God in us, which is why it rules the intellect. So, cardinal air is ideas already manifested. You know when you get an idea and you don't need to work through the idea just comes to you ready-made. You're like, wow, I just got this incredible idea, and I don't even have to think it through. I don't even have to write it out. It just appeared just complete. Okay. For example, I forgot who was the scientist that was trying to find out the molecular formula for butane. Might have been Albert Einstein, I'm not sure. But this scientist tried and tried and tried and tried. He got tired. He waited 2 days because he was exhausted. He went to sleep and he had a dream that there was a snake biting its own tail, and he discovered the molecular morphology of butane. So ideas can come to us in dreams. It can come to us through emotional states. It can come to us through even finding a book in the middle of nowhere, and then it answers the very questions that you were thinking. That's cardinal air. It's information ready-made, where you don't gotta work it out, iron it out, think it through, evaluate it. It's already there. It's like boom, 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 done deal. Mutable air and fixed air are different. Mutable air is ideas and thoughts, and that could be complete ideas, complete thoughts, just like cardinal air. But in Gemini, it's not. With Libra, it's one idea at a time funneling through. With Gemini, it's many ideas. It's almost like a rainfall of ideas coming through. And you can grab here, grab there, all ready-made ideas, and you can profit from them or gain information from them. But it's too much. It's too much. Or you could have fragments of ideas, and you got to put it together to make a complete thought, or complete concept, a complete idea. That's mutable air. Fixed air is a whole different psychology, and that we're going to discuss when we go into Aquarius. So we're going to begin, because I've already done Libra, the how to understand the Libra woman. So we're done with cardinal air. So we're going to jump into mutable air, which is Gemini. Now let's talk about the Gemini woman and how to understand the Gemini woman. I think I've dated 2 Gemini women in my lifetime. I've enjoyed them. They're wonderful, wonderful, heavenly, and a few dudes, Jekyll and Hyde, folks, Jekyll and Hyde. She's born under the sign of the twins, suggesting duality and complexity. And let me tell you, this girl is two-faced. There are 2 sides to her, and she is as complex as they come. She, like Virgo, is also a chameleon. However, Gemini's chameleon-like abilities are quite different from that of Virgo and the third chameleon, which is Miss Pisces. Now, Mercury, which is the planetary ruler, rules both Gemini and Virgo, and both signs are very mercurial. And what does that mean by mercurial? It means that they are very, very curious, very intellectual. Their minds, they never go to sleep. It never goes to sleep. It's constantly alert. The sense of sight, sound, taste, nose, feel. Remember, with Gemini, the senses are also very, very pronounced. But they're passing phases and changes. It's up to the Gemini to want to invest in them. Virgo is also affected by these same senses, but Virgo invests in figuring them out, whereas Gemini doesn't want to figure it out. It's a waste of her time. She has places to do, other things to think, places to go, other things to evaluate. The mercurial mind never goes to rest. In fact, the planet Mercury is the fastest moving planet around the sun. The fastest. Yes, the moon moves the fastest than Mercury when it comes to our sardonic rotation and movement of the earth. Yes, that is cosmologically true. But it does not move at the speed like it does when it's that closest to the sun, like Mercury does. And Mercury rules the mind. So the Gemini mind is always restless. It's never really calmed down. She don't calm down, She's first and foremost a mental creature with an insatiable curiosity, okay? To understand how people think and why they think as they do is exactly what she's all about. It's exactly what she's all about. She's a natural-born investigator, let me tell you. And communicating with her, however casual, still feels like a political news correspondent. Like you're talking to a reporter or talking to a commentator. She gives you that kind of feel. She gives you that kind of illusion. So, she's lovely, let me tell you. But everything to her is very, very serious, and she's always apt to have a conversation. Oh, totally. Like Scorpio, you will never get to really know her, though. But unlike Scorpio, you will learn to understand her. And that's the key. You see, she ain't going to go out with you and just give you her brain. No, you need to figure out how she thinks and why she thinks as she does. You have to be invested in her mind in order for you to get to first base with her. And let me tell you, Gemini women are fucking fabulous. They're sexy, they got sexy bodies, and their mind is just as sexy as their bodies. Angelina Jolie. Do I need to say anything further? Okay. You can't top that. You can't top that. Okay? That beauty. And then the mind too. And there's two of them. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. You have to learn to understand her, which means that she's like a Rubik's Cube. You have to figure her out. And if she is to feel that you really like her, that you really respect her, and that you even love her, you have to respect the workings of her mind and want to find out how she thinks. That is the biggest aphrodisiac. She will be forever yours if you seduce her mind. Never mind the body. And yes, she got body. But never mind that. She knows she got body. But she wants you to notice her mind. And if you don't take time to do that, she'll be like, fuck you, nigga. Fuck you. Get out of here. Like, don't waste your time. I'm serious. She's scandalous like Miss Virgo. Remember, they're both ruled by Mercury. The trickster. The hustler. Okay. Now, to understand her psychologically means nothing to what her motives are. Just because she may allow you to figure her out doesn't mean that you're going to understand her motives. They don't go hand in hand. This is one complex Rubik's Cube in a pretty package. And that's really where guys get tripped up. Oh, they do. I got tripped back in the day when I flow that way. You get tripped up because she likes to keep you guessing. See, that's the thing about her. She likes to keep you guessing and will play with words as well as play on words. See? And because of this ability, she can be a very powerful manipulator, either for good or for evil. Oh, yeah. That's one dangerous gal. Okay. Also, like Scorpio, she has an attractiveness towards the dark side of human nature and is often fond of engaging in questionable activities. Yeah, she and Miss Scorpio can hang and do all kinds of atrocities. I think these were the two bitches that came up with the phrase, whatever you do in Las Vegas, stays in Las Vegas. Hey, these two broads came up with that. Because let me tell you, both of them together or apart, they'll tear up. In Spanish, we gotta work on tremenda, ella es tremenda. She is scandalous. Lying, stretching the truth, white lies and the truth. It's all relative to her. Meaning lies and true and half-truths and false by omission, all of that is relative to her. She might be quoted by saying, a lie can become a truth tomorrow, and a truth can be corrupted at any time. I mean, that's actually really true. So to her, things are relative. And, you might want to think of Donald Trump, who also is a Gemini, and all that tweeting that he does, and lies with a straight face. This cat lying and telling the truth is very relative. That is a Gemini thing. Yes, it is, folks. Yes, it is. It is a Gemini thing. To her, it's all relative, depending on what position you take. Because it's always about the position that you take. Nothing more, nothing less. Now, she's also, very quick-witted. She has this laughter that will cut through you. Like, ooh, oh yeah. You can know a Gemini woman, you can spot her. Anywhere if you hear her laugh, that laughter is like, it's almost a little bit demonic. Oh, it peers through you, but it's sexy too. It can get a rise out of you, but it can be wicked at the same time. You can't really put it into words, but that's a Gemini girl. Totally. Totally. She's quick-witted, a fast thinker, and quite capable of handling a conversation with a homeless, illiterate, to a dignified or ambassador of a powerful country. To her, one is no less than the other. She holds both opinions as equally important, but also as equally relative. Okay? Because of this, there is no winning an argument with her or a debate with her. Because to her, everything has its relevant point of view. And therefore, it can be a truth in its own right. She can act, but okay. Yeah. She can act rather quirky, rather quirky and goofy, even silly, but still be respectfully admired by because of her mental dexterity and acuity. You cannot call her a fool because she's too smart to be a fool, but she'll parody a fool, but still play it off beautifully like nothing. Like nothing. Remember, Mercury and Gemini, along with Virgo, rules the court jester. So they can be very comical, even put comedy onto themselves, but still preserve that dignity. Oh yeah. She's persuasive. Very persuasive. I got my tongue, I cut my tongue in several places, because my teeth are sharp. So I might be like, see, forgive me. It ain't the alcohol. Right. She's persuasive and diabolically convincing, which is why she succeeds in careers of sales and advertising and public relations. You want to believe her, even though she could be a diabolical liar. You want to believe her. There's no way to get around it. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's totally amazing. Like I said, Mercury rules both Gemini and Virgo, and both signs are very mercurial. Now she's first and foremost. Oh, I had already read this. Sorry about that, guys. Okay. See, here's the thing. With Miss Pisces and Miss Virgo and Miss Gemini, they're chameleons. But the chameleon of Virgo is to cloak itself, almost like in different disguises. She can assume different roles and actually play those roles. Like she can be an accountant, she can be a bookkeeper or a record keeper. She can substitute for a friend and be a teacher for the day, and actually play the role and fucking get away with it. She can also hide her identity or create a whole brand new identity, which takes time and energy and effort. Now, the Pisces woman, now with Virgo being a chameleon of the earth by changing guises, even changing wigs and guises, costumes. Very Virgo thing. But it's also very Gemini. But here's the thing. Gemini will be expressed in personality. Passing personalities. It'll be fake. It'll be a front. Where with Virgo, it'll be more serious and more scientifically put together, and it will be for a long-term purpose. Whereas Gemini is very flighty, and she'll be different people to different people in different situations. Whereas Virgo may elect to do the same thing, but in a more consistent arc. Where Gemini moves around too much, and you like a Rubik's Cube, you can never really know what side the bread is buttered on with a Gemini, because it is constantly changing, just like the planet Mercury moves the fastest around the sun. That economy, that occult truth can be applied to the soul and personality of a Gemini. With a Pisces, the chameleon becomes more like she becomes you. Whatever kind of person you are, she's going to become you. That's how she becomes a chameleon. Whereas a Virgo, they don't want to be you. They just want to be somebody else that you don't even recognize for whatever motives it makes them do this. Gemini is the same way, but as a way to get into circles. And it's so superficial that there'll be no real vested interest, and that way she can move right out, slide right out, with no consequences of emotion or even cultural impact. This is the Gemini woman in that respect. Right? And that's what makes her such a chameleon. But she gives you this smile and this bright eye that's so bright and mercurial that she disarms any doubt that you may have concerning questioning who she is. In reality, you will only know of her what she wants you to know. And I gotta stop here. Stay tuned for How to Understand a Gemini Woman Part 2.